Hi, welcome people of the interweb to my new channel, my second channel. If you are new and you found this by random, welcome. Up above is a link to my main channel, Sarah N Tuned. I do car reviews and project car content. But this channel is gonna be solely car reviews that focus on the nerdy mechanical aspects of a new vehicle. We're not gonna look at cup holders and storage capacity and features on the inside. We're gonna look at how the thing is constructed and the mechanical aspects from a mechanic's perspective. And then we're gonna test it out in the wilderness because this one is a Pathfinder, a 2022 Nissan Pathfinder. The question is though, has Nissan found their way back to the path of off-roading goodness, or is this thing more of a daycare finder? We shall see. Come on. Hey, I like that. It says Pathfinder embossed in the plastic on the cladding. First up, you'll notice this does have a tow hitch and it says see owner's manual for vehicle towing capacity. You don't need to do that though. That's what I'm here for. This one with the tow package will tow 6,000 pounds and without the tow package, it's 3,500. You're welcome. It has an alloy wheel for a spare, a space saver spare at that. It looks like a motorcycle wheel. Also, full disclaimer, this Pathfinder right here is a pre-production model. So Nissan was kind enough to loan me this to do this review on, but just keep in mind there may be little fit and finish things here and there that will be different on the actual production model. But we're just looking at the meat and potatoes of the mechanical bits, so that's fine. You can see the tow hitch bolts up right here to the unibody because this is a unibody vehicle still. It does not share the frame with the new Frontier. And no, this is not a pull-up bar. It's a rear anti-sway bar. That massive chasm of emptiness right above it is because this is a two-wheel drive model, and unlike back in the day, which meant you had rear-wheel drive instead of four, this gives you front-wheel drive. We're going into the vehicle. Safety first. These aren't actually safety glasses, by the way. They look cute though, so. Suspension-wise, out back, you can see the spring bucket down here is stamped steel. A lot of the components down here are stamped steel. The knuckle and the upper control arm are made out of aluminum. And if you look over here, you'll notice there's a big hole because that's where the liquid-filled rear bushing would go on the subframe for the rear differential. What I like about this though is that the vehicle utilizes the same structure underneath as the all-wheel drive version. From a manufacturing perspective, that not only saves costs because you can just, like Legos, plug and play all the components to make this all-wheel drive, but also say 15 years from now you buy one of these used and it's two-wheel drive and you want to make it four-wheel drive, you just go to the junkyard and you rip off all the components off a four-wheel drive model and they'll bolt right into this. Also makes maintenance easy as well. That is insane how big this thing is. And also it's got a huge resonator. It's the size of a normal muffler. It's fairly decent sized diameter exhaust piping on here though. It might actually be 3-inch piping. Let's see how big diameter this actually is. Nope, it's 2.5-inch diameter. Looks big though. Check this out. Completely hollow black plastic box that runs along the side of the passenger side of the vehicle. This is all hollow. You can fill it with grapes or bees. This is a on-the-go slush puppy maker that'll taste like salt and dirt. Right here in the center, you'll see these two long studs. This is to hang your carrier bearing, of course, if this was equipped with a drive shaft going down the center of the tunnel here. That's a pretty cavernous tunnel all the way up there on the back half of the engine though. Apparently being two-wheel drive doesn't stop this thing from partying in the mud because someone already did. The lower control arms on this McPherson strut style front suspension are aluminum. That's an interesting engineering feat because this is fairly decent sized diameter piping in the rear, but underneath the subframe in the front, this thing is wafer thin. It's sandwiched to clear underneath it. All in all, this seems like it'd be a fairly easy vehicle to maintain. Nothing under here is over-engineered or complicated, and that's a huge plus with this new Pathfinder. You can see all these little furry panels come off and give you tons of access to the lower half of the engine. That's nice. That's really nice. Definitely wouldn't be a nightmare, I think, to work on this. So thank you, Nissan, for doing that. This, however, is not a plus if you're looking for power because this is so restrictive looking. The rear bank of cylinders, because it's a transversely mounted engine, has to make this U-shaped bend that already has some dents in it from someone taking this off-road into the mainstream of exhaust. That's not optimal for making lots of horsepower, but this thing is designed to haul babies, not ass, so no worries. I just noticed this. The new Nissan hamburger bun has white accents in it. Makes it look like it glows. I love that. That is so nice. The brakes on the Pathfinder, which we will test here in a little bit. Don't you worry, this channel includes the beans test and the braking test. This SV model, which is lower end in the model range, comes with these 18 by 7.5 gloss gunmetal wheels wrapped in a 255/60 Toyo Open Country A46 tire, which we will see just how these do off-road in a bit too. It comes with a set of 13.8-inch rotors in the front with a dual piston caliper and 13-inch rotors in the rear with a single pot caliper. Don't mind me, just lowering a Pathfinder. It's time for the braking test. No one behind me? Ready? Woo! Lots of noise. That took a lot further distance-wise to stop than I thought it was going to. Maybe one day I'll get measuring instruments and actually measure for science and math. There it is, hood popper. Hi, I'm back. Now it's time to see what powers the 2022 Nissan Pathfinder. It's a VQ. It's a VQ. In 2022, this thing has a VQ35DE in it. And you know what? Before you say anything, I think that's a strong point because this thing has been revised and changed and reworked so many times now I can't even tell. This one right here has been revised and reworked just for this Pathfinder. I mean, in the 350Z alone, we saw 3 variants just in that car. There was the VQ35DE for 03 and 04, then 05, 06 had the VQ35DE Rev Up, and then we had the VQ35HR, which was in 07 and 08. Not to mention all the other Nissan models. That's just one car, for instance. So, over 20 years of research, development, working out bugs is in this engine. And that, I think, is a strong point. Let me pull this plastic engine cover real quick so we can take a look at this particular VQ35. You can see it does have a plastic upper plenum, has an aluminum lower plenum, does have plastic valve covers, just keeping up with the times of modern engines. The rear bank of 3 cylinders, though, you can see it is tucked away underneath the wiper cowl, so it looks like you're likely going to have to pull that upper intake plenum to get to those rear 3 cylinders. Other than that, I'd say it's about average to access stuff, considering it's a transversely mounted V6. In the name of science, I am now going to give this thing the beans. It does have a drive mode selector down here in the center console. You can go through tow, because it has a towing package, sport, standard, eco, and snow. Definitely not any snow out here in the desert. We're gonna put it in sport because I'm gonna do some sport type activities. Give this thing a little assistance and let it eat. Ready? Go. Ooh, little bit of wheel spin. Was that a tiniest bit of torque steer also? That's good. Man, that VQ at upper RPM sounds mean. It's not really though. Out of everything I've discussed in this garage today though, the most important aspect about this new Pathfinder mechanically is the fact that Nissan has paired up with ZF for the transmission. This now has a 9-speed automatic ZF9 HP transmission. No more CVT. Nissan has listened to the customers' enthusiasts and given them what they wanted. That's what's up. This is a Pathfinder and I have found a path. We're gonna see if this thing can do any sort of off-roading whatsoever with 2-wheel drive. Yep, doesn't matter. It's Pathfinder. It should still be able to find some paths or something. I gotta stop with that pathfinding thing, it's getting old. Anyway, I'm gonna use my mode selector here in the center. No, I guess sport. This is kind of sporty. And see what this thing can do. It's got some nice meaty sidewalls to the tires. I mean, I joke and I say this thing is like a lifted minivan, but it really is. The buyer of this Pathfinder is buying it to haul babies around in. This is a family mobile and nothing more, which is kind of sad because I feel like Nissan should have created another model for this. This is a great vehicle if you have a family and you want to take them out in the outdoors and do dirt roads and stuff. But when I think of Pathfinder, I think of the nemesis to the Toyota 4Runner, since we don't have an Xterra anymore. Maybe Nissan could fill that void by putting an Xterra on the new Frontiers frame and bringing that back. I think it would sell excellent. I mean, you see what the new Bronco, how many people place orders for that. I don't see why Nissan couldn't do it. Also, leave a comment below if you think Nissan should bring back an off-road SUV. Doesn't necessarily have to be the Xterra. It could be something all new, all in itself, with a removable top to compete with the Bronco and the Jeep. I think that'd be pretty rad. I bet you a lot of people would buy one of those if Nissan made a Jeep and a Bronco competitor with a removable top, because it'd be different and new, and people are like, oh yeah. I think they actually had those in other countries, the Nissan Patrol. They don't give you a visible button anywhere to defeat your traction control. Anywhere. It's probably in the menu. I'm not messing with that right now. We're just gonna go and see what this thing will do, as is, out of the box. Super smooth off-road so far. It's definitely a comfortable vehicle. And I like this one has cloth seats because it's the SV trim. I'm not really much of a fan of leather just because of the climate I live in. All right, we'll try a little beginner hill since this is two-wheel drive. The cameras don't really do justice to how steep these actually are in person. Okay, just straight right up this. Here goes, two-wheel drive. Let's see if we'll do it. Okay. Didn't even try. It just completely cut out and slid backwards. It wouldn't let it spin the tires. There's gotta be a way to defeat traction control in this thing. I finally found the traction control. Here it is. It's buried into this menu, VDC settings. That's how you disable it. I wish they'd just give you a physical button for it. Either way, I'm not gonna try to abuse this thing off-road because it's not gonna be able to do it. A little bit more speed. Go, make it up this. Come on! There we go! Wow, you just need a lot of momentum, that's all. Now, on the older generations of Pathfinder, because they were built on a frame, even if you had a two-wheel drive version, it was still rear-wheel drive. And I just feel like that was a little bit more capable, like you could beat on it off-road and it would still do quite a bit. Because you can take a four-wheel drive SUV and do quite a few things with it without having to use four-wheel drive. Woo! How is the approach angle? Not bad, okay. So it's got a good approach and departure for being an off-road minivan. That wasn't bad. All right. Well, my overall verdict is this is not a Pathfinder. This is an appliance type vehicle, a good one at that for what this is designed for. It just doesn't deserve the Pathfinder name. It is fantastic at being an appliance type of vehicle to haul a family around in, and it's a comfortable vehicle to ride in. It's nice on the inside. It doesn't look cheap. It's got plenty of tech features and it's comfortable. I feel like I'm sitting in a bathtub. I'm so far away from the doors, so it feels safe. It feels everything that you'd want to haul a family around in, not something you'd want to go find a path with. Even if this one was the four-wheel drive version, it can only be so good because that's not what its core purpose is. It's not designed to be an off-roader like the original Pathfinder was. And I challenge Nissan to make something to fill that gap because I think they could do a great job at it if they tried. I had to park this thing in this grove over here of dead trees because My camera keeps overheating and the sun in the windshield. It's 102 outside right now. Anyway, wrapping up this car review, I want to hear you guys' feedback down below in the comments section. I took feedback from my main channel on those car reviews, and what you guys seem to love most is the garage science and of course just the little drive, a one-take style drive. So I put 2 and 2 together, and we're trying this new format out on this channel. They're a lot easier for me to shoot and edit for you guys, and I think it just makes a more enjoyable review overall, because most of the stuff on the inside of the vehicle and exterior styling you can see for yourself by going to each manufacturer's website and building the vehicle or scrolling through the website. So I'm just kind of alleviating that stuff for you guys and getting right to the business, the stuff that actually matters that you can't really get from a brochure. So let me know below, and I will see you guys soon with another video. Bye.